Beneath the endless stretch of desert skies where silence speaks louder than words and the wind carries secrets older than time, a rider moves with grace upon his steed. His name echoes like a song, not bound by palaces or gold, but by the spirit of poetry itself. Fazza, the voice of Dubai, the prince of verses, the falcon-hearted soul who writes with ink drawn from stars and from the rhythm of his homeland. He is not just a ruler, not just a son of the desert, but a seeker of beauty, a dreamer who turns every shadow into a story and every moment into a melody. In his heart burns a fire older than the dunes, a longing for love and meaning, a thirst for skies beyond the reach of ordinary men. He rides at dawn when the horizon wears its crown of light, and the world still breathes in silence. The camels stand like statues against the rising glow, and the horses, proud as kings, wait for his hand upon their necks. He speaks to them without words, for his heart and theirs understand one another. His poetry is not only in ink upon parchment, it is in the gallop of the stallion, in the cry of the falcon as it rises to meet the heavens, in the sound of waves against the shores of Jumeirah, in the laughter of children running free upon the sands. Every grain of desert carries his name. Every palm tree bends to the whispers of his verse. But his poems are not just about beauty. They are about the silent ache that lies beneath it. For though he wears the crown of destiny, his soul still searches for something greater than wealth or power. He longs for a love untouched by the world's noise, a bond that is not dazzled by his title, but sees him as a man of flesh and dreams. In the quiet of his chambers, when the city sleeps, he writes. His hand moves as though guided by unseen winds, spilling verses of longing, verses of memory, verses of hope that someone, somewhere, will read and understand the heart behind the prince. His words become bridges between worlds, between tradition and tomorrow, between silence and music, between the falcon soaring high and the heart beating within his chest. The desert knows his secrets. It has seen him kneel upon the sand, whispering to the stars as though they were companions. The moon has watched him speak to his father's spirit, promising to guard the land, to honor the heritage, to let poetry guide his path where politics might falter. For in poetry, he finds truth, and in truth, he finds freedom. Dubai rises around him, its towers piercing the clouds, but within Fazza's heart remains the old rhythm of the Bedouin drums, the stories told by firelight, the songs carried across the dunes by wandering tribes. He does not let the steel and glass blind him to the roots of his soul. Instead, he weaves both worlds together, the ancient and the modern, like a tapestry no other could imagine. He writes of horses that run faster than the winds of destiny, of camels who bear the patience of centuries. In the golden hush of dawn, when the desert still holds the cool breath of the night, the soul of Fazza awakens not to the clamor of power, nor to the echoes of courtly duties, but to the whisper of wind gliding over sand dunes, to the song of horses restless in their stables, to the silent flight of falcons tracing unseen destinies across the endless horizon. His heart beats like a drum carved from the desert itself, echoing the music of longing, of journeys never ending, of a love that the world does not see, but that his pen has carved into eternity. In the soft fragrance of oud and the stillness of mosques awaiting the call to prayer, his spirit finds both surrender and defiance, surrender to God's will and defiance against all that would cage a heart made for flight. He writes with the ink of memory, weaving the strands of time into verses that shimmer like stars in the night sky of Dubai, verses that tell of passion that neither distance nor fate can erase. In every word lies a desert storm, fierce yet beautiful, a storm that shakes the dunes but leaves behind shapes more stunning than before. He is both poet and writer, warrior and dreamer, a prince whose kingdom lies not only in the skyline of steel and glass, but also in the fragile landscape of hearts he touches through verse. His poetry is not mere ornament, it is a mirror of his soul, reflecting the solitude of a falcon circling alone in the wide heavens, the loyalty of a stallion that runs tirelessly beside him, the longing of a man who loves beyond the reach of crown and tradition. Evening descends upon the desert, painting the sky in molten gold and deep purple, and Fazza rides across the sands as if chasing the sun before it hides behind the dunes. His horse, proud and untamed, is his companion in solitude, its hooves drumming upon the earth like the rhythm of an ancient song, a song older than cities, older than empires, older even than time itself. In those moments, his poetry is not written on paper but carved in the very wind, carried across the desert plains, whispered to the stars that begin to bloom in the heavens above. He speaks not with words but with silence, a silence more eloquent than the longest verse, a silence that holds both longing and fulfillment, a silence only lovers and poets understand. Love for Fazza is not a fragile flower to be held in hands. It is a falcon soaring high, boundless, fierce, and unafraid of heights. It is a flame that does not burn the heart but illuminates it, guiding him through paths unseen, where duty and desire collide like desert storms. Yet from their clash, new worlds of poetry are born. He dreams of eyes that shine brighter than the stars over the Arabian Gulf, of a voice softer than the sea's lullaby against the shore, of hands that could steady the storm within him. And yet, he knows the weight of destiny, the chains of expectation, the endless gaze of a kingdom that sees in him not just a man, but a symbol,